Hey, welcome aboard, folks. I'm Kenny White here with Micah Roberts, one of the best odds makers, line makers, bookmakers in the business. Been behind the counter and on both sides of the counter. Micah, glad to have you with us today, direct from Phoenix, Arizona today.
Yes, thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to talk about this game. This is going to be a classic. It seems like we see this matchup with the Niners and Packers every couple of years, and they're always barn burners.
Yeah, storied programs. Let's get the line out there. Talk about that. The Packers a 6-point favorite, pretty much across the board. I have seen some 5.5s. Total of 47.5. Going to be cold in Lambeau, 22 degrees. Winds dying down a little bit, 8-9 miles an hour at kickoff. So also the coils, the heating coils under the field, that warms that field up and makes it nice for the players. So weather will not be a factor in this one. What could be a factor is injuries, Micah.
Yeah, we got a couple of them. Fred Warner, we're still waiting on to see. He's questionable, linebacker for the 49ers, and also their best pass rusher, Nick Bosa, questionable with the concussion. If he can pass the protocols, he should be able to play, but you never know with these doctors and some of those extended protocols they have. So wait to see on that maybe before you make a wager. Definitely if you're betting the 49ers, you want to make sure those two guys are playing. And we also have Jimmy Garoppolo with the shoulder problem that he had last week. He had a pick. He had the thumb injury coming in, something to also be a concern for a 49er bettor here.
Yeah, 3 straight road games also for San Francisco. So make sure you double check those injuries. Warner and Bosa have to be in the lineup if you're betting the 49ers. For the Packers, Randall Cobb, Aaron Jones, Devondre Campbell, the great linebacker, or they're a really good linebacker, all probable. All those guys will play. That's a big plus for Aaron Rodgers. I know the Packers have done well in playoff games. They've done well at home. I know they have a trend with Matt LaFleur off of a loss. They lost their last game of the regular season against Detroit.
Yeah, they've won and covered 9 straight games after a loss. Now, the one against Detroit, that wasn't like a typical loss because that was kind of a self-induced loss with only playing the starters the first half. But it's still something I'm sure they're aware of, and I'm sure they want to keep it going, and they want to be that team that responds well after a loss. And that's a great tip of the cap to LaFleur for getting his guys ready after losses. That's a big, big thing in my head.
Now, trends don't pay the mortgage, but they will turn around, and that's why they don't pay the mortgage. So you just can't bet blindly on a trend. This trend with a team winning as a wild card underdog, Micah.
Yeah, and I have some questions. I just saw the stat. I thought it was unique. Since 1990, the wild card winner that was an underdog, 6-30 straight up in the divisional round, 13-23 ATS. In the divisional round. In the last 9 seasons, 1-14 straight up. I did not check those individually myself. I took the stat as a fact, and I'm starting to question it a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead with it. It looked nice on paper when I saw that.
Yeah, I thought when you told me about it, I thought this was going to be a stat. You're building a case for San Francisco, but it is building a case against the Niners, and they are a team that I've backed a lot down the stretch. I love this team. I love Shanahan. The skill players, Deebo Samuel,
wow,
amazing. Kittle and Ayuk. This team's loaded with talent, but with Garoppolo not 100%, that's scary. At home this year, Green Bay 8-0 straight up, 7-1 ATS. They were 4-4 over under this year. Median numbers at home. Green Bay's final score 31-17. The Niners on the road 24.5-21. So, Mike, if I put your play in this game, we're looking at a line of Green Bay -6, a total of 47.5. What do you have?
Yeah, I've been a 49er backer over the last 10 games, and they've gone 8-2 and done very well with Garoppolo and that whole crew, Kittle. I mean, those guys just get things done. They've moved the chains, first downs, and it's fun to watch. These coaches, Shanahan, I mean, the jet motion, everybody's in motion all the time, and nobody can diagnose the play before it happens. I love watching Shanahan's play calling. So in this spot here, though, I mean, they've just played 2 close games, back and forth, basically playoff games, the win over the Rams and then come back last week. So a lot going on, the injuries, there's just too many. And then the Packers at home, I know we saw Tom Brady, but they're so good at home. They didn't lose all season long. I think that's the edge here in this round. And we'll have to see in the next round, depending on who it is, whether it's the Rams or Bucks coming in. But Packers at home, I feel okay laying under a touchdown.
Well, I'll give you 2 tips for this game. One is go to oddschecker.com, because that way you sign up free, you get your free odds screen, and you find out where the best numbers are in your state for all licensed books. The second tip is going to be, I love the game over. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I really do. Both quarterbacks, I think, will put up points. I think Garoppolo will work his way through it. You mentioned all of the player movement, the pre-snap movement for San Francisco confuses defenses. Green Bay's defense has not been that good as of late. Number 22 in the NFL in DVOA ratings. So I'm going to go the odds screen. They give you alternate point spreads. I'm going to go over 51.5 points. Best price plus 180 at Fox Bet. I think that's a really good play. I think they go over 51.5. So for Micah Roberts, I'm Kenny White for oddschecker.com. Stay tuned for more great information on playoffs for Sunday's football.